2015 jihadi Shamima Begum says she deserves sympathy after giving birth in a Syria refugee camp, but says she doesn't regret joining the terror group. Brit, 19, today begged to return home to the UK and insisted, "I was just a housewife." The Sun reports. Begum, who fled the UK in 2015, claims she never did anything dangerous, and says she can't live in this camp forever. Speaking to Sky News next to her newborn son, she said, "People should have sympathy towards me for everything I have been through." She added, "I didn't know what I was getting into when I left. I was hoping that maybe, for the sake of me and my child, they'd let me come back, because I can't live in this camp forever. It's just not possible. When I went to Syria, I was just a housewife for the entire 4 years. I never did anything dangerous. I never made propaganda. I never encouraged people to come to Syria." The new mother said she was okay with ISIS beheadings and admitted it would be really hard to rehabilitate her in Britain, hours after giving birth to a baby boy in a refugee camp, according to the Mail Online. When asked if she knew about the atrocities of ISIS when she left for Syria, which has included beheadings, she answered, "Yeah, I knew about those things and I was okay with it at first because I started becoming religious just before I left. From what I heard that, Islamically that is all allowed, so I was okay with it." She claimed she'd had a good time in the war zone and apologized to her parents for leaving the UK, saying it was a big slap in the face to them. Asked if she felt she made a mistake traveling to Syria, she said, "In a way, yes, but I don't regret it because it's changed me as a person. It's made me stronger, tougher. I married my husband. I wouldn't have found someone like him back in the UK. I had my kids. I did have a good time there. It's just that then things got harder and I couldn't take it anymore and I had to leave." The runaway Londoner's family lawyer said she'd given birth earlier today. Family lawyer Tasni Makunji said, "We, the family of Shamima Begum, have been informed that Shamima has given birth to her child. We understand that both she and the baby are in good health. As yet we have not had direct contact with Shamima. We are hoping to establish communications with her soon so that we can verify the above." The lawyer later confirmed, "It's a boy." Desperate to come home, the Brit fled to Syria when she was 15, with 2 friends from Bethnal Green High School, East London, and married a Dutch ISIS fighter. She was found by a Times journalist last week in a refugee camp. The 19-year-old, who has called herself weak for wanting to return to her home country, had previously given birth to 2 children who died from malnutrition. She told the Times she didn't regret joining the murderous cult but is now desperate to return home and have her baby with the support of the NHS. She said, "I'm scared this baby is going to get sick in this camp. That's why I really want to get back to Britain. Because I know it will be taken care of, health-wise at least." Her family, who believe she was groomed, pleaded for her to be allowed back to the UK. As a matter of urgency, her eldest sister Renu told ITV News she was desperate for her sibling to come home. She said, "We hope the British government will help us bring her home to us where she belongs. It is understood that should Begum make her way back to Britain, she will face legal proceedings by social services to safeguard her child." She said she expected to be charged with terrorism offenses and to be the subject of intense media attention, but was desperate not to be separated from her baby. Begum asked, "What do you think will happen to my child? Because I don't want it to be taken away from me, or at least if it is to be given to my family." Her family said that if she is jailed for supporting a terror group, they want to raise the baby boy. Mohammed Rahman, 36, whose brother is married to Shamima's elder sister Renu, told Britain's The Sunday Telegraph her parents would want custody of the baby. They would want to look after their grandchild. "I don't think people, feeling the way many do about what Shamima has done, would want the state to pick up the burden of looking after the child." Hopefully Shamima can be reunited with her baby after she has been freed from any spell and custody. Fled to ISIS in 2015, Begum left London in February 2015 with 2 school friends to follow another classmate to Syria. She said one friend, Khadija Sultana, had died in an airstrike, but the other Bethnal Green girls, Amira Abbas and Shamima Begum, had stayed with ISIS in Baghdad. She said she feared she will never see her husband, the Dutch jihadist Yago Rediq again, whom she still loved very much. Rediq, 26, a convert to Islam who grew up in a middle-class family home in Arnhem, is suspected by police of being involved in a terrorist plot in the Netherlands. He was convicted in his absence last year of membership of a terrorist group. Questions have been raised over whether Britain would be able to prevent Begum's eventual return to the UK. Shamima's parents are consulting their lawyer about legal action against the government to force it to allow the teenager back into the country. Home Secretary Sajid Javid has warned he will not hesitate to prevent the return of Britons who travel to join ISIS, but Justice Secretary David Gauke told Sky News, "We can't make people stateless." Mr. Javid wrote in the Sunday Times that many supporters of ISIS have returned to their home countries, adding, "The difficult challenge we now face is what we should do about those who are still seeking to return. As Home Secretary, my priority is to ensure the safety and security of this country, and I will not let anything jeopardize that." However, the government's tough stance was undermined when Alex Younger, the head of MI6, said British citizens have a right to come to the UK. Diane Abbott, the UK's Shadow Home Secretary, said anyone linked to terrorist groups should be fully investigated and where appropriate prosecuted, but added, "We are not in favour of making people stateless." Chief Executive of counter-extremism organisation Quilliam Haris Rafiq said he absolutely understood the public would be concerned about the prospect of Begum's return, but the intellectual and right thing to do was for her to go before the courts. Kurdish officials have also demanded the UK fulfills its moral and legal duty to repatriate Begum and other British ISIS members detained in Syria. This article originally appeared on The Sun and has been republished with permission.